Welcome back, brave adventurers, to the 7th thrilling episode of our epic saga. Join Lady Tatiana, Ari, Ortega, Toast, and Captain Talus as they continue to navigate the ever-shifting sands of the Barbed Fields. I am your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, and once again, I will be the one providing the recap from the previous session. You all started that session after having some exhaustion from sailing away from Captain Tom Cruise. Tucking it in for the night, Ortega outed Talus. During the night, Talus had an encounter with her friend for the first time. Friend said that she did not want to be mentioned about. Talus agreed that her secrets are not hers to share. We cut forward into the day after finally reaching the Barbed Fields. You slowly make your way towards the path. You discovered a downed Gloomstalker that had shot with goblin arrows. Marching forward on, you did encounter Wandering Oak caravan stops, where you met a goblin family that had just recovered after downing that Gloomstalker. You guys were given tea and allowed to sit idly by the fire. After having your second round of tea that was brought to you by the other party, you all fell asleep, woke up with the party gone, the goblins gone, and the jewels missing. In this mesmerizing installment, our intrepid heroes find themselves alone, scattered, and robbed of the vestige of divergence. They're forced to navigate this harsh and unforgiving land where secrets long buried in the sands await discovery. So brace yourselves, for in this episode, our group forges their path through the world teeming with wonders and perils, their alliances tested, and destinies entwined. Talus, you wake up, you look around the fire. Make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. I'm really tired. So, okay. I have a +5 to perception, but that's only a 9.
It was kind of really close to your peripheral vision anyways. You basically just had to roll over and open your eyes. You see a scroll. It has been rolled up, and on top of the scroll is the familiar berry.
I believe we have been robbed.
What time of day is it? Did we sleep longer than normal?
Yes, fell asleep around 1 o'clock in the morning. You guys are waking up at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did the giant turtle move too?
Yes, the turtle is gone.
Toast is very, very not perceptive then, or he just thought nothing was wrong.
Toast, make a Arcana check.
Ooh, okay. We got an 18.
Toast, you realize that during your century's rest, you'd see that you were depowered.
They turned me off. I didn't think I had an off switch. And he starts looking around and kind of spinning in a slow circle.
With your high Arcana check, you do have the assumption that there was some form of magic involved, but it is not magic that you've ever seen before.
Strange magics.
Because Ortega rolled a nat 1 on his Constitution save, I'm assuming that he's sleeping a little bit longer than everybody else, and he hasn't noticed the jewels are gone yet.
Kick Ortega to wake him up. Not hard, but a little
What part of my tent does nobody understand?
We have been robbed.
What's
you
missing?
Especially.
What do you mean, what's missing? And Ortega will grab at his neck and go, what else is missing?
Everyone make a perception check.
9.
14.
11.
Nat 1. I'm just crying over here in the corner.
Oh, no.
Oh, for the letter.
You notice, collectively, Ari is also missing.
Oh my god.
No.
Ortega is going to rage and immediately start doing a survival check around where Ari was sleeping, looking for any signs of scuffle or where he would be going. So I get to add my 19.
You do notice that where Ari was, there doesn't seem to have been much of a struggle at all. It's almost as if it looks like he kind of just got up and wandered off. The other footprints that go up to him, up to where he was sleeping, and multiple footprints leaving. So it does look like he was disturbed at some point, but there doesn't look like there's any signs of kerfuffle. He was almost asked to leave or told to get up, and he just followed.
Did he leave with the group, according to the tracks?
It's hard to tell.
Is it the same direction as the track? Are they all going together?
It is going in the same direction.
Poop. That's what I'm going to say to the group. Poop.
Well, I'm going to pack. We know where they're going.
Yeah, they're going to Bastazan. They got 12 hours head start on us.
Who knows how many hours exactly? So hurry up and let's go.
Whichever one of them's got the jewels, I'm killing. Nobody steals from me.
You three all notice that Talus has been quiet and holding on to this note.
What do you have there?
What do you want me to
Confession?
say? It's a note. It's not a confession. Goodness. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You sound confused.
I'm confused. Can somebody please, because I don't know if you all remember this, but I never saw this supposed vision or whatever. What are we? What exactly are we doing here? What exactly is going on? Because I have no attachment to these jewels. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know why we're going to Bazozan. So if you would like to remind me on why this is so important that we do this, that would be great.
Well, without the vision, the reason it's important is that the jewels were a vestige of divergence, which means that it's a very strong artifact. And we're going to Bazozan to decipher what they might do. That's the short-term goal. And that's really as far as I'm intrigued to go for now. But some dude, for lack of better terms, seems to have been locked away or sealed away by some god or someone and is trapped. And somehow the jewels are supposed to lead to him, I think. I don't know. The vision was kind of fuzzy on what exactly it meant.
Curiosity and adventure.
Sure.
But really,
What is it?
the first part is why we're going to Bazazan.
Are you going to share what's in the love letter? Or
You do have a piece of paper.
I do have a piece of paper. This is true. It's not a confession. Io didn't want to go.
the love letter?
It's not a love letter. It's fine.
That makes
So
sense.
you're
She has
saying
more
that
not to
I
teach me.
didn't want to steal the jewels?
No.
So
Let me guess. It was the dirty little drow.
It was three
definitely
of
the
them.
dirty little girl.
Dermot,
And-
Irvin, and Galsrad all agreed to take the jewels.
Remind me to ask Rabier permission to kill his nephew.
I'm not worried about killing the goblin. The other two, good as dead the next time I see him.
That is, what they did is considered an offensive action. Therefore, they must be eliminated.
Is it possible that Io wrote that to try and stay in your good graces as opposed to completely in the deep end with the rest of her group?
I am not the most cynical of people. I think there's some value in taking people at their word. Io said that she would try to slow them down, that she didn't want to go.
But they're a group. They have to go together.
Maybe she
But
did not
the
have a
letter
choice.
also doesn't say anything about Maggie, does it?
It doesn't mention Maggie's name, but it doesn't say that she's part of the vote to leave.
I don't think Maggie has the intelligence to make those kinds of decisions.
Maggie's intriguing, Toast.
Maggie has a sweet
I
spot
think
for
she's-
somebody.
Yeah, I may have accidentally spied on her last night, and she may have mentioned something like that. She's shown moments of brilliance along with moments of sheer stupidity, and I almost think that the stupidity part is a show.
I did not consider that. That would make her a liar,
No, it would make for someone
Twitches.
playing an act.
which is lying.
Are actors liars, Post?
Yes, you can never be sure who they truly are.
I suppose that is true.
The only way we are going to find out is if we're successfully able to catch up with them.
Alice, can I read the letter?
No.
I believe there is
Sensitive
smut on that paper.
I get you.
That
Accusations.
is why you do not
Toast.
want to show.
Accusations. It's
No.
fine.
No, I'm not accusing.
Insight
It is
check.
belief.
Insight check on Talus.
All right.
Io seemed very friendly with you.
You do get the impression that Talus is telling the truth. It's not like there's anything in the note that she's hiding. I think she just wants to keep it her own. You do see that it's more of an emotional thing than a vengeance thing.
Yeah.
Can I make a request of the party?
Sure.
Okay. I think we all know the kind of person that I am. And the kind of person I am is not 100% moral all the time, is not 100% careful all the time. That's fine. So you can think what you want about me. But what I will say is this a bit of a jump to go from these people being our allies one day to us being willing to eliminate them the next? All I'm saying is maybe there's a bigger picture here. I don't know anything about these jewels. I don't know anything about vestiges. I don't know anything. I've never been to Bazzoxan. I don't know anything. So is it possible that there's some larger thing going on that maybe we don't know about? Do they have more information than us or different information than us? Is it reasonable to say that maybe we don't go in fist swinging immediately and maybe slow things down a bit?
That could be possible. I myself do not have a firm grasp on what you call morality. All I know is that you guys were drugged and we were stolen from. Also, I believe that I do not have a choice if I am fired upon first. If they attack, I will be forced to fight back. It is how I am created.
And I think that's reasonable, Toast. I wouldn't ask you to stand aside in that case.
I cannot allow harm to come to you guys.
In my opinion, there is always a bigger picture. Whether it benefits them more than us is the question. Trust anyone, not easily. Seem to like you guys enough, though.
Thank you.
And she did bring us the tea.
Maybe they were going to murder us, and the tea was the alternative.
Maybe there is more at play, Talus. All I know is that where I come from, when someone steals from you, they get their hand chopped off.
I have seen that in practice. It was not...
And then everybody in the future knows that they're a thief. Now, whether there's a bigger picture or not, I don't know. And at this moment, I'm not sure I care about a bigger picture.
Oh, I want to know what compelled them.
But they didn't have any more information off the start than we did, unless they did research on Bazzoxan or on the Jewels. But I don't know where they would have found that in Jago.
Some of them were magically inclined. I believe there are ways to discern information via magic. I do not contain that kind of magic currently.
I don't think any of them are strong enough magic users to divine some form of an answer out of nothing. And I don't really understand.
The goblin, doesn't he, like...
He's a preacher, yes, but I don't think he's strong enough magic user yet to do some of that talk to God stuff. I still don't understand what they gained from stealing from us this close to Bazzoxan. They knew that the whole point of going to Bazzoxan was to find out more information. I figured they'd have at least waited until there was more information before they attempted anything on the jewels. But they've gone from being rivals to being thieves, and I'm not sure that sits very well with me. I'll let them talk, but I'm on a short leash here, Talus. I do not appreciate being stolen from.
He actually does not have a leash at all.
Okay, can I ask again, logistically, what we were actually doing? What was the plan once we got to Bazzoxan?
The plan was Bazzoxan is where the divergence or war happened. So if there was a place where a vestige of divergence would be able to be identified or acknowledged or figure out what it does, that's supposed to be the place of religious value that you might be able to find out that information.
That does make sense.
That's why we were going to Bazzoxan. It was supposed to just be a trip to Bazzoxan to see what all this meant. Like, the vision was cool and all, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't lead anywhere. Ragnar was the one that convinced us to come to Bazzoxan and try and seek out more answers about the jewels. They're supposed to be an ancient relic that has some power to it.
Potentially dangerous.
And I think that's really what the three I'm going to go with. Dermot might have voted on it, but I feel like it was the other two more than any of them that wanted it for themselves. But Shaggy is quite shaggy, and I've never known a drow to trust a drow.
Never trust.
Do any of you know what the Kryn is?
History.
I mean, yeah, everyone make a history check.
Having already admitted that I have not been on this plane for very long, I'm going to give myself disadvantage because I might have picked up some knowledge.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I got an 18.
I know everything. I just nat 20'd.
So, Toast, with your history check, an audio log kind of does come out. It sounds like it's a very assiduous, dragonborn cleric of some sort talking to a very somber, very clean-cut, professional, elegant elf. You hear them talking about how the Kryn are rising, how the Kryn are fighting, and they're joining against the Dwendalian, ultimately joining against the greater good, how the followers of Lolth are rebelling. The Kryn Empire, while finding a new light, are still the bane of Exandria. They must be stopped at all costs. The war will never end.
So does anybody know anything? I do not.
And Tatiana knows.
Getting me right.
I do not joke.
Tatiana, having grown up where you have grown up, you have heard many stories, and you were more or less one of the front lines against the war on the Kryn dynasty. You know that the Kryn is the main faction of the Drow that live in Zorhas. They have always been a pain in the Dwendalian Empire's back. They have made pacts and deals with several different deities over the centuries that they've been around. They are the followers of the Luxon, and they worship that above all else. They are their main base is obviously Roshona. Their army is massive, and up until 10-15 years ago now, the Dwendalian Kryn War was very much an undecided war. Only within the past decade or so has the war subsided, but tensions are still high, and every drow that is a follower of the Luxon, or any follower of the Luxon, will always think lesser about those that are not followers of the Luxon. Enemies of the Kryn are anybody who is not Kryn.
The Kryn are basically a plague, and if you're not one of them, then they make sure you know it.
Well, I think that explains why the goblins are involved then. But Io and Maggie aren't followers of the Luxon.
No.
I don't think Shaggy is either.
I'm curious to learn how they are tied in with them.
So,
again, if you are not Kryn, you are not Kryn.
so the other party giving the jewels to them would be bad.
Not necessarily bad, just
Definitely not good. We need to catch up.
clearly not something we want one side of a war to have and not the other, but we don't even know if the vestige is a battle type of vestige. Maybe it's something different.
Well, in my experience, usually amulets, rings, jewels are of the defensive nature.
It allowed me to go invisible.
If they are bringing the jewels to the Kryn, and the Kryn are able to magnify this power, imagine a large army sneaking in under everyone's noses and destroying everything you know and love.
I cannot allow that.
That is all the Kryn does. So again, we need to catch up.
Yes, that sounds bad.
I can honestly say that whether the Kryn end up with the jewels or not, I'm not bothered by that. Only the fact that they were in my possession and they were stolen.
And your friend is missing.
And my friend is missing. So I guess that makes you guys the longest reigning friends I've got left.
He just called us his friends. That is pleasant. You are my friend too, Ortega. Toast puts his hand on Ortega's shoulder.
Ortega will just pat your head.
We should move.
You were going to say something, Talus?
As I said, Io wrote that she would do her best to slow down the group and convince them to return the necklace. So they may not have as big a head start as we fear. I don't know.
I suggest we catch up and stop them with non-lethal force.
This is what I do. I find people. So let's go find some people.
You guys take off down the path, exiting through the grove. As you get to the main path again, you look back one last time. As you look back, you see the grove itself has uprooted and is slowly wandering away from where you once were.
Talus, that happens all the time in the Feywild.
Walking trees. I like trees. That's
They're
cool.
Much larger, though, but sometimes the trees get up and walk around.
Could you take me there sometime?
We'll see, Toast.
Okay. I will accept that response.
After watching the trees slowly walk off into the distance, it reveals what you were actually laying on. It's a large plain in the Barbed Fields. It was completely enshrouded with the wandering oak grove. There's thorns and spikes and spires all around, just underneath one of the many mountains. Travel on again, pressing forward as quickly as possible at a faster pace than what would normally have been maybe necessary. You're running for an entire day, as only stopping to rest up really quickly, to rub your feet, to have some nutrients, to enjoy a ration. Water is scarce. You find yourselves consuming more water than maybe you'd be happy to. So if you guys have rations, instead of using one ration per meal, you'd be using 2 because you're using extra for the water.
Oh.
I have 10 of those. I do not need them, so I will share those with the party. I have food for you organics. Please share if needed.
I share with the other 2. We've eaten 3 rations. You can continue to carry the rations.
All right.
So I'm sorry, can we just talk about Ari for a second?
What about him?
He didn't go with them.
We don't know that.
I would
His
have
tracks
said
led in
something,
the same direction.
but I would have said something. And there's no reason for them to take him.
I can agree with that. So
Ari has always been
we're either going to run into Ari, or Ari has decided to go his own path, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
He could be tracking them. Maybe he woke up faster than you guys.
You do make a good point. Ari could have tried to wake us, and being that he couldn't, started following them sooner, knowing that eventually we would do the same.
I just hope that Ari doesn't try to take them himself.
I don't think he's that stupid.
No, but he is brave
No.
and courageous, and he does think he can do anything with those guns.
All right, we'll find out. We will find out.
You have the option to continue on and suffer a point of exhaustion, or you can make camp. However, you will be, again, like I said, using more rations. So it is up to a vote whether you guys continue on and take that exhaustion level and just press on, or camp up.
Alice?
I feel better knowing more, and the longer we take, the less we know. But on the other hand, if we get there and we're too tired to do anything useful, effective, productive.
Best case scenario, we get to Bazuzan and we find them. Worst case scenario, we get to Bazuzan and they're still ahead of us. In which case, we can stock up on rations, get a quick little rest, figure out where they're going, and press on. If we catch up to them, they will not be stupid enough to start a fight in the middle of a city. These areas are very strict, and you can get easily arrested, or worse.
Usually I vote for the safest course of action, so being fully rested and ready for whatever we find kind of appeals to me.
It puts us behind.
That is true. However, I have a long life. I can chase them forever. I can find them eventually.
Well, according to Bumpy over here, you're not the only one with a long life. So,
That is true.
I said nothing about us having a long life.
You did say you would have trouble dying, though.
sure did.
No,
Yeah.
if we die, we just disappear and reappear in the Feywild.
Yeah, but then you could get back
to
here.
me is still living. So, again, long life. I'm
might not
willing to
be
be a
back
little
here.
tired if it means catching up to people, is what I'm saying.
I'm good with that as well.
Well,
Just so you know, Toast, getting to the material plane from the Feywild is not an easy chore.
No, but that would just make you angrier and make you more effective in battle when you do eventually catch them. You seem to be very effective when you are angry.
Oh, probably easily angered when you're tired. Let's go.
Toast just goes, yeah, let's go.
You guys do make the decision to press on after quickly resting up a little bit, progressing through the night. It is dark. It's quiet. The Barbed Fields is clouded. You see the moonlight occasionally break through the clouds. If you're squinting, you can make out the spires. At nighttime, as you're walking, you see the spires themselves almost radiate a dark purple light. It's just enough that you can see that the path has been paved, weaving in and out using what looks to be certain spires as markers, or the path itself is starting to become less and less rugged, and you progress forward on and on through the night, and you start to see the sun rising once again. There's a wind of heat. You just feel it hit. There's no clouds in the sky today. Continuing on even further, another 12 hours have passed. Are you resting?
I suggest we rest. We have pushed hard. I am overheating.
You've got one more day in your toast.
I will not be as effective at protecting you, but if that is what you wish.
I think getting there and making sure that they're in our sights is more important.
I think doing that, but also keeping you all alive is the most important.
I will say I'm biased. I'm not particularly tired at all yet.
We've already gone without sleep.
I highly doubt that they are in as much as a hurry as we are to catch up to them. And they probably don't think that we are that good at tracking, because even I do not know all of you well enough to know your actual skills at tracking people. I am not very good at it.
What do you think, Talus?
I think it's unlikely that they will be pressing on day and night. Maybe we should rest.
I think the logical decision would be to rest, because they're ahead of us and they could just be rested and wait for us to find them. And then they could murder us because we are not capable of fighting back as effectively. I am not one for being murdered, and I've been turned off once already.
Lady Tatiana?
Well, I don't know how much resting we're going to get in this beautiful sunshine, but maybe a short one, so we don't wear ourselves thin.
All right,
Then
then.
we can eat,
We rest.
cool off, go.
Toast just collapses, drops to the ground in his resting state, and you see a bunch of steam coming off of him.
You guys find a place a little bit off the path, some shade behind one of the spires. The shade is very minimal at best.
Ortega would probably have taken the time to set up his tent, which will fit 2 people comfortably, provide a little more shade.
So who's going in the tent?
Ortega.
Okay.
Not Toast.
The ladies can join in the tent for respite if they need.
Toast would find the shady side of the rock, and then he would hug the rock, trying to diffuse some of his heat into it.
We are both small, Talus, and I'm only going in there if you go.
Oh, see, now you're going to make me feel responsible. Don't.
Oh, for Pete's sake, you two take the tent and I'll sit outside.
I mean, if you insist.
So those of you that are in the tent, you only have to have 1 ration. But those of you that are outside of the tent, aka just Ortega, you do have to have your full 2 rations.
Would Toast be
I'm
able
already
to
red.
create more shade for Ortega?
I'm all right, Toast. I'm all right.
You might be able to create shade, but unfortunately you can't block the powerful, dry, hot wind.
Yeah, but seeing that Ortega is out and there isn't really a lot of shade, he would do his best to stand where he could block the sun and some of the wind, even if it's not that effective. That's what Toast would be doing. He would figure out where's the most efficient way to protect Ortega from the elements.
After about 5 minutes, Ortega would tell you to knock it off and sit down.
Toast would sit down, and then you would get the full blunt of the sun, because that's what you told him to do.
Alice, I'd appreciate if you stopped rolling your eyes at me every time I did a gentlemanly thing.
Oh my goodness, if you're going to keep calling it gentlemanly, then I'm going to keep rolling my eyes.
You know, you have to admit, with all that scaly, thorny bumpies, he does have quite a few soft spots.
Do I have to admit that?
We go get my friend now.
As you guys start packing up the tent in the little makeshift camp, that hot wind that you have had beating on you the smell starts to change. I need everyone to make a constitution, just a straight con roll.
18.
That's a 10.
16.
I swear to
got a
whatever
dirty
gods
20.
you pray to, that was not me.
I'm incapable of flatulence.
We're clearly downwind of something that died.
You are smelling this very putrid, rotting decay. Those of you that got less than 15,
Starts making gagging noises.
you basically throw up your ration for the day.
Oh.
Hey,
It is that,
oh, lovely.
and
I hand her another one.
it is taking every bit of your essence to just keep it down as you walk closer and closer, as the smell gets worse and worse, until finally you come across a large ape-looking demon has been punctured with countless spears and axes, and as you see around it, there's slowly melting into a pool of black decay, rotten ichor. Surrounding the body are corpses of what looks to be 24 humanoids wearing hide armor as well as bodies from the warriors' horses. You also see 300 feet in the air circles of a carrion bird flying around the battlefield.
Would Toast actually know what this thing is? I don't feel like he would. I don't think he's ever interacted with demons.
No, but Tatiana, make a history check if you like, and you have advantage.
Ooh, which one?
You have heard stories of ape-like demons, these colossus, gargantuan demons wandering the wastes of Zorhaz ever since before the calamity. These are known as Udak. You know that these Udak are strong. It takes a lot to take one down. They are a demonic cross between a 4-armed gorilla and an ox. They stand around 20 feet tall and are about just as wide. Their head sits directly on their shoulders with no neck to speak of, and you see 4 eye sockets on either side, and mouth full of teeth and tusks. You know that these are incredibly resilient creatures. They are entirely resistant to a lot of things, and they are capable of swallowing an ogre in one bite.
Whoa.
You know, during the war, they have often been used as living siege engines.
So this thing's dead, or it appears to be,
It is dead and rotting.
and melting away.
There ain't nothing from that you want, Toast.
No.
Besides, we're in a hurry. I vote we just carry on, and at least we'll be upwind from this point on.
Okay.
Tatiana, you hear these tearing and ripping. It's like, and you hear squeaks and shrills, very faint, but you seem to hear a few of them. And as you guys slowly get closer to the corpse to walk around it, you see that there are little tiny demon beings with tiefling-like tails. They're small. They're tiny. You all know them like Closet, and there's a few of them eating at the flesh and enjoying a free meal as they rip and tear. And almost in unison, they all stop eating what they're doing, and they stare and they look at you.
Those, my friends, would be scavengers.
They're all looking at us,
Oh yeah,
and there's a bunch of them.
there's at least 4 that you can see.
Ortega's going to move up to the front of the group.
I activate my cannon. I slowly raise my arm, and my hand opens up.
They let out a loud shrill. I need everyone to roll initiative.
6.
17.
So first up is one of the closets. It lunges forward and it is going to basically scream at Ortega. And Ortega, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
I most definitely failed.
Okay, so you are frightened, and you can repeat the save at the end of your turn.
I don't believe that's going to last very long.
Unfortunately, that is all it can really do. Brings us to the second one. It's also going to do the same, and as it gets up to where the other one was, it goes invisible.
I have the blind fighting ability.
Okay.
Oh.
So as long as it's within 10 feet of me, I can effectively see it.
Let's Toast, you're up.
Toast is going to circle around the side of Tatiana, and his cannon is going to power up,
and just launches this beam of force at this closet in front of Ortega. Oh, crit! That's a crit. So the cannon does 2d8 damage. We do crits again.
So it's max dice damage, and then you roll an additional dice.
So 18 points of force damage. Literally, like, this just disintegrates him. And then for my action, I am going to cast Ray of Frost. That's an 11 to hit.
11 will not hit.
And he will then pass the turn.
Brings us to the next closet, which lets out a loud shrill. Nothing from your perspective seems to change. However, there will be a couple more that come from like inside its belly. They're going to be coming out. It's going to move forward. It's going to then change its shape into a bat. It's going to fly towards Talus.
Attack of opportunity?
It's flying above. You wouldn't be able to grab it.
Not fun.
And it's going to take a little nibble at Talus.
Ugh, gross.
Which is only an 11 to hit.
That's a miss.
That's going to end its turn, bringing us to Talus.
All right. I'm going to attack with one of my hand axes, this guy in front of me. 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
4 points of slashing damage. And then I got 2 weapon fighting. So as my bonus action, I'm going to make another attack with my hand axe. That's only a 12 to hit.
12 will not hit.
All right. And then I think I'm just going to stay where I am.
Tatiana.
Did you say that are they undead? Like, would I know?
They are fiends.
Okay, so then as a bonus action, I am going to cast the Rite of Dawn on my rapier. So my weapon will now shed 20 feet of bright light. I will be resistant to necrotic damage, and on successful hits I get additional d4 damage. And I'm going to attack the little bitey bug in front of Talus. So I will take my damage first. So that's 2 points. Ooh! Yeah, that was my pistol that I accidentally rolled with, not my sword.
Oh, we're ignoring that one?
It is the same. So up to you. They're both +6 on a roll.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll take the 25 to hit. That's fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I hit.
So 12 points of damage.
It is dead.
And then I wink at Talus.
Ortega.
With my blind fighting, is the one that went invisible still within 10 feet of me?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that he's like 2 over and 1 up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to basically stare daggers through him as I move up to him. And with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex. And I'm going to give it disadvantage on strength checks. And I'm going to whack him a couple of times with my scimitars. That is a 14 for my first one.
14 will hit, yep.
All right. For 13 points of damage.
It died.
Excellent. And we saw this thing like spit out more or create more out of it.
Yeah, you guys heard the shrill, and then from somewhere in its corpse, you hear like as you hear it coming out. You don't know
okay,
so there are more coming.
Then Ortega will move more, and with his second hand, he is going to throw a dagger at the next one.
Okay.
That is straight across in front of me for a 16.
It will hit.
5 points of damage to that one.
Ending your turn, you are close enough to the actual corpse itself. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Critical success.
You can smell it really bad, but you're able to hold it down. Which brings us to technically top of the round. You see 3 more Quizits are flying in. You also hear a much louder screech coming from above as a large vulture-like demon bird descends.
Oh.
And just right down in front of Ortega. Top of the round is a turn. It's going to attack Ortega using its beak first for an 11 to hit.
It does not hit.
And then it's going to attack with its talons for 13 to hit.
Does not hit. Doesn't even clang off my armor. It misses completely.
You need to make a con save for me, please.
Dirty 20.
34. All right, so yeah, you're good again. Ending its turn brings us to the Quasits that have just shown up, and it's going to also go to Ortega. Take a little nibble. It's not going to hit. Toast, you are up.
Okay, so Toast is going to walk. He's going to come marching up, and he's going to cast Thunder Wave in that 15-foot cube right there, originating from him.
One of them in that grid has passed. The other one failed.
Okay, only 4 damage.
And the other one?
It takes half damage if it passes, so only 2.
Well, luckily enough, that's enough to kill that one.
For my bonus action, turret on his shoulder swivels around to aim at the big bird, charges up and fires another one of those force beams. Not going to hit.
Brings us to Talus. You're up.
Okay, I'm gonna take a little baby step forward, and then I'm gonna look at this big bird thing that I do not like, and I'm going to curse it with my Hex Curse, which means I get +2 to damage and criticals on 19 and 20. And then I'm gonna shoot it with my gun, which is a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
God, okay, that's only 6. Oh, but do I get +2 to damage rolls? I just said that with my mouth. Okay, hold on. So 8 damage then.
And that's all for Talus. All right, Tatiana, you are up.
Okay, so I'm assuming that big statue thing is blocking my view of creepy bird dude.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna move over so I can see creepy bird dude, and I'm gonna hit with my sword. Dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Cool. 15.
15 points of damage. Ending your turn.
My turn, yeah.
You need to make a con saving throw for me, please.
That's 5.
You are now poisoned from the spores that you have injected as you've come close to the creature. So at the start of your turn, you just immediately take a d10 poison damage. And at the end of your turn, you can roll that save again to see if you heal yourself. And then you also need to make another Constitution saving throw for me, please.
All right, so amongst my good rolls, it is now punishing me and giving me terrible rolls.
So being within 20 feet of this rotting monstrosity that is literally right beside you, you immediately start hurling up. Your next attack is going to be with disadvantage. Leads us to one of the Quasits that haven't actually done anything yet. It's going to fly up, kind of land in between Tatiana and Ortega, and it's going to try to protect its mom. Going to attack Tatiana for a 14 to hit.
No.
And that's all I can do. And the final Quasit is going to fly over to Toast, and it's going to scream. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please, Toast.
6.
So you are scared of this tiny fiend.
Oh, God.
You are considered frightened. That ends its turn. Ortega, you are up.
I think at this point, now that I'm surrounded, I'm just going to rage.
So when I would always rage.
And I'm going to swipe at the one to my right first. Crit.
Yeah, it's dead.
The second one is a 13. To the Quasit between me and Tatiana.
13 is the AC. It hits.
Excellent. 8 points of damage.
It is dead.
Sorry, 10. I forgot my rage damage.
It's deader. Deader now.
Excellent.
Can I react? I want to react. So I can do something.
You can make...
I am going to use my Blood Curse of the Fallen Puppet.
To raise up a dead Quasit?
To raise up the dead and have it attack its mother.
Tatiana.
Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
It will make an attack. Yeah, it'll attack its mom, and it crits.
Nice.
Yes, way.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
I take 3 points damage, by the way. So
You don't have to, because you didn't amplify it.
oh,
Yeah, it does its damage, and it just dies again. So that's ending Ortega's turn.
Oh, yeah.
Ortega, ending your turn. You need to make the 2 con saves for me. Do the spores for the rock first, and then we'll do the dead guy.
24 for the first one. Ooh, 17 for the second one.
Perfect. Pass on both.
That was good. That was not a good roll.
Top of the round, the Vrock is up. It's going to make a stunning screech, and it's going to howl, and each creature within 20 feet of it has to make a DC 14 con save. I think, actually, Talus, you are considered within 20 feet of this.
Devastating.
11.
Me too.
And technically Toast as well, yeah.
15.
13.
Yes.
Ortega saves.
I had 11. I did not save.
So
I'm shaking in my booties.
the two ladies are stunned until the next.
Gross.
So that condition is basically like you automatically fail any strength or dex save. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and you are considered incapacitated. You cannot move, and you can only speak, and you can speak only falteringly. It is still attacking Tatiana with a 24 to hit, dealing 11 points of damage on the first attack, and it's 18 to hit for the second attack, which is 19 points of damage.
Going down?
She's unconscious.
It's going to start flying again over top. You do get an attack opportunity.
Excellent. 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
9 points of damage.
Not killing it. Good.
I continue to slice.
Toast, you're up.
Well, being Toast, he is going to reach down and hit Tatiana with a cure wounds.
Thank God.
That's 9 HP. And as a bonus action, he's going to fire his force cannon at this thing, and hopefully he can hit it this time. That's a 14.
Not gonna hit.
My cannon does not want to hit this thing. Okay, and then I will pass.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
You do need to make your poison con save.
15?
15 passes. Talus needs you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
21.
Ending her turn, Tatiana, who is still poisoned, takes another D10 of poison damage. Only 3, so she's fine.
Hey, -3. Cool. So now we're gonna 2d4s. I'm gonna drink potion. That gives me 6 additional points of health.
That's brutal.
Every little bit helps, okay? I'm going to use half my movement speed to get up, and I'm gonna go and I am biting him. 17
17 will hit.
gives me an additional 5 points damage for him and 5 points of health for me.
You make your con save to try to break free from the spores. Yeah. Finally, the spores have kind of exited her system at this point, bringing us to Ortega.
Ortega is going to run across, and he's kind of going to move around Tatiana and slide underneath this thing. And as he's going, he's going to slice its abdomen as he slides. 16 to hit.
16 will not hit.
Oh,
He slides right underneath them, keeps going.
yeah, I got a second blade though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I crit with this one. Woo! That'll make up for it. So 15 points of slashing damage as one of my blades connects underneath as I slide underneath them.
Perfect. All right. And say for me, please.
18.
You're good. Again, the Vrock is going to target Tatiana. It's got a one-track mind. It can't see anyone else, and it sees a giant robot. The giant robot is not a flesh being, and it's
Giant robot is tiny.
It's you'd think, yeah, no, it wants to eat something dead. Yeah, there's a point to it.
Yeah.
So with the first hit is a 19, 6 points of damage on that one, and the next one is a natural 20.
All right, well, I'm just dead. Let's just yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm, blood on my face, lying on the ground.
Oh, God.
It's going to now fly in between Ortega and Talus, ending its turn. Toaster up.
Okay. So is she dead now?
She's unconscious.
Okay, cool. Second burst.
In my bag.
Yeah, second burst, same as the first. I saw her take that potion. I'm going to use my action to feed her one. I will remember to take the cork off this because glass is not edible for humans. And then while I'm doing this, bonus action, the turret will fire. As per usual. Roll good. Give me 21.
That will hit.
Take my 2d8 damage. 12 points of force damage, and it is pushed 5 feet back. I actually hit with my cannon.
Ooh, 10 HP for Tatiana.
Talus, you're up.
Okay, so I'm within melee just now. I guess I'm gonna attack it with my hand axe. Okay, so 17.
17 will hit.
And then I'm going to attack it again with 2 weapon fighting. That's an 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
So that's 8 plus an extra d6 from necrotic, from hex. So 3, so that's 11.
11 points of damage. End of your turn, Talus, I need you to make your con save for me, please.
Nat 20.
Let's go.
Tatiana, you're up again.
I am going to use half movement to stand up, and I clearly look like a hot mess. And I'm gonna be super tired, and you've noticed that I've left my sword on the ground, and I'm just gonna pull out my gun and
Nice.
15.
That's not gonna hit.
I'm gonna give it the finger, because they're angry. Am I with... Oh, yeah, okay. I'll do it.
The good thing is you didn't just automatically take damage that time. You just breathe in those spores again. You just you're like, my airway is cleared.
She's too angry. She took her mask off.
Yeah, you exposed yourself. Ortega, you're up, Ortega.
Ortega's gonna run and try and jump and just two-handed flip his scimitars over and stab it in the chest. 17, the first one.
Yeah.
Definitely hits 20-something. 10 points for the first one and 11 for the second one,
okay,
for 21 total. As I run and jump and stab him both in the chest, I'm kind of hoping he falls over underneath me.
You've got him grounded. You're like, I would say you're kind of like stuck in him at this point. You got him grounded at least. He can't move as far. You've halved his movement speed and he can't fly.
Nice.
Ending your turn, and you should make that con save.
Oh yes, con save. 16.
16 passes. Bringing us to the Brock once again with Ortega in him. He's going to get right into the middle. He's going to kind of like looks down at Ortega and it's going to try to rip him out. So Ortega, you're going to need to make a strength saving throw.
You can do that. That's my other good saving throw. 22 total.
You are just able to hang on. As it's going to rip you off, it pulls itself. You being in so deep, it shifted you to a point where it hit something caustic inside of it, something that was causing the spores to generate. And it blows up into this acidic goop as everyone within a 30-foot radius has to make a Constitution saving throw.
I feel like Ortega, like when he hit that spot, he goes, "Oh no!"
Whoever has been poisoned or currently is poisoned has disadvantage on this roll.
25 for Ortega with my.
I rolled an 8. You just hear a little voice saying, "Incoming explosion."
11.
It just like it coats the entire area in this black ichor, this acidic ooze, as the entire inside like basically just turns itself inside out as it literally explodes. 15 was the saving throw.
Devastating.
I failed.
So those of you that passed will take half damage. For those of you that failed, you take 28 points of acid damage.
28?
Oh my god.
Okay, so
I feel like Ortega just ends up on the ground in the middle of a whole kind of goop going, "That was fun. Oh, I'm going to second wind. That's what I'm going to do." As I'm about to stand up after being in this ichor, I'm going to second wind and try to end the battle with no damage. Because that is possible for me.
I am also going to second wind because
9.
that's a lot of hit points.
Tatiana, you're on the ground again?
Tatiana is unconscious on the ground.
Medicine check.
Make a medicine check.
Must help. 5.
You are not able to stabilize her. The spores are still in her system as slowly, like acid is melting away at some of her clothes, her armor,
Can I try to wipe it off?
It's inside her system.
Yeah. Ortega will still be trying to wipe it off.
Ortega is having just second-winded. He's going to move over to Tatiana, and he's going to call over Talus. And he's just going to say, Talus, help me get her stable. And I'm going to hope that she will help me stabilize her.
I am failing at protecting. I have no options.
I don't know what your wisdom is like, but maybe it is better for you to stabilize. I got a 9.
Never mind.
Never mind, she says.
It was a 2 on the die.
As you all look around trying to save Lady Tatiana, you see this poison, as she's unconscious, she starts choking on it.
No. I roll it on her side.
I mean, you can try as much first aid as possible.
I'll roll her on her side.
As you roll her on your side, you hear a voice. Behind one of the spires, a portal opens up and you see an old half-orc female. And she comes running towards Lady Tatiana and she looks around at you guys and she goes,
What have you done?
She grabs Tatiana and she runs back through the portal.
Toast will be booking it after this lady. Hey, wait.
That's where we're going to end it tonight. As we conclude this gripping episode, our heroes face an uncertain future, having lost 2 of their own, with Ari being missing since the camp, and Lady Tatiana and her ill fate in the most recent combat encounter. The relentless sands of fate continue to shift, leaving us with questions that linger like mirages on the horizon. Their journey, now marked by loss, carries with it a weight that will echo through the vast expanse of this challenging world. The jewels that have been stolen by their rivals, while still a pressing matter, do not seem to be the immediate concern. I am your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, and thank you to you, our steadfast listeners, as we express our deepest gratitude for sharing in this epic odyssey. Your unwavering support fuels our passion for storytelling, even in the face of trials and tribulations. As we bid farewell to this chapter, may your own adventures be filled with resilience and the strength to persevere. Until we reunite in the next episode, where new challenges and discoveries await, remember that the spirit of adventure knows no bounds.